Well. Good morning, good afternoon, West Ham fans. Bit of ASMR for you. Russ and the West Ham Network. Hope you are all safe and well. In a couple of short hours, we'll be playing the Greek Giants, Olympiacos, at the London Stadium. They had died in hell. We have dine on pie and mash. But as always, a few hours before we try and predict our 11. And I think it's going to be, personally, I think it's going to be a fascinating 11 today or tonight in terms of the 11 boys picks. If we go back just over a week ago, it was all bed and roses. This time last week, it was beautiful. We'd beaten Arsenal 3-1. We'd had, we had the likes of Bowen and Kudus playing together. We had no Antonio. It was it was a lovely Thursday. Everyone was happy. We'd beaten Arsenal 3-1 comprehensively, and then we thought, that's it. This is it. He's found his formula. Now he's got to move on. Now he's got to just keep it going. What happens? Obviously, we know there was Paqueta and Alvarez were both suspended for the Brentford game, and unsurprisingly, he went back to type, really. And yes, it was an exciting first half, but we lost. And that makes four league defeats in a row, I think it is now. Or 3 or 4, I can't remember off the top of my head. But more importantly, tonight, it's obviously the last time we played in the Europa League was against Olympiacos, was in Athens. And that was possibly the worst performance I've seen us for a good couple of years, I'll be honest. And even when we had Dimmy from Gate 7 International on Wednesday morning, he said he was so surprised how poor we were. He reckons that was their best performance this season as well. Since then, we've obviously had the game against Arsenal, but a couple of defeats. They've had one win, and then at the weekend on Sunday, they lost 4-2. And to be honest, it was 4-0. They scored 2 consolation goals right at the death of the game against Palka. So they haven't had a great run at it. Plus, also, we know about the Greek FA awarding Panathinaikos the game against Olympiacos, the one that was suspended, and also a point deduction as well. So they actually had a 4-point swing on Olympiacos. So the natives were not happy. Let's say that. So I think it'd be fascinating. That result in Athens blew the group wide open. If we won that game, it would have been virtually plain sailing, I think, for us for the rest of the league, sort of the Europa League group stages. Not the case now. In essence, our first 11, although Moyes says we don't play with 11 players, but we sort of do. That first 11 is pretty much going to be playing 2 games a week until Christmas now. Particularly, you've got to think Carabao Cup. We've got Olympiacos. We've still got Freiburg, and we've still got TSC as well. Plus, we've got the Carabao Cup. Plus, we've got the Premier League as well. Plus, we've got international breaks as well. So, after the Nottingham Forest, we've got another 2-week international break. So that condenses all those games even further. I think when we play, it's either the Freiburg game or the TSC game. I think it is the TSC game. I can't remember. That's in the midst of in the run up to a 4-game in 9-day period for us and Liverpool. And obviously we play each other slap bang in the middle of that 4-game period. And then they've got Arsenal that following weekend, and we've got Man United. But they would have played Man United the week before. We'd played Wolves the week before, I think. So anyway, let's concentrate on tonight, and then we'll see where we are. You never know. TSC might turn over Freiburg at home. Who knows? And then that would make things a little bit looser in terms of the group potentially. As always, we put together our starting 11. So let's have a quick butcher's look, shall we? Let's have a butcher's look. What's going to happen? I think he's got to go virtually full strength, virtually, with the exception of 1 or 2. Because they are European players, so to speak, or cup players. So, like in goal, for example, I think Fabianski is between the sticks. Now, it was notable for the Arsenal game that Aguerd was playing very well. The defence was playing quite well. Didn't play so well against Brentford. And there has been some, me personally, I think there's certain things which Areola does really well, and he's won us games, that's for sure. I think Fabianski's won us games in his career at West Ham as well. For me, there's definitely good parts of Fabianski's game and bad parts of Fabianski's game. He's not a great shot stopper, so to speak. His distribution isn't as good as Areola, who's a better instinctive shot stopper. But I don't think Areola commands his box as much as his frame should do. I don't know if his communication's as good as Fabianski. I think if you took both of them, you'd have probably one of the best keepers in the Premier League. Areola, there's a reason I think maybe why this is his first permanent sort of club since PSG got loaned out to everyone, didn't he? Really, and I think maybe he's more settled now. But I think the communication is still an issue. We've seen mistakes, but then to be honest, we've seen mistakes with Fabianski between the sticks as well. So not for him, but for the defense in front of him. So we're splitting hairs, but I think there's definitely good and minuses from both sides in terms of goalkeepers. But I think Fabianski's in goal. And then I think he will go because obviously he played Saturday, and obviously it'd be Saturday, Thursday, whereas Olympiacos played Sunday, Thursday. So I think for me, he's got to go all balls out. It's Emerson on the left-hand side. I think Naif comes in again. And I know there's been a bit of speculation about him, whether he's going to be dropped or not. I don't think he's going to be dropped personally. He hasn't the word that's coming out of the words that have been spoken about in terms of Ario, in terms of again, include in terms of himself as well. I think they've been taken a bit out of context personally. We know Kurt Zuma, there's a question mark on him. I don't think Moyes will risk him for the game tonight. I think if anything, he'll be back in for the Nottingham Forest game. He's only just started training from his injury. He might lean back for the Forest game. And if that's the case, I think then we can, improve this defence even more and give them more game time and play as a unit. So, Mavropanos comes in against his native side in terms of Greece, in terms of Olympiacos. And right back. Now, I think he'll play Soufal. It wouldn't surprise me if Tilo Kehrer gets a run out again for the reason I thought. Well, I don't think anyone played well in the away fixture, but I think particularly on the left hand side, is it Fortunas was exceptional. The one who scored the banger, and he drifted out to the left quite a lot, and they were getting a lot of joy down their left or right. As tends to happen when a quick winger comes up against Soufal, he does struggle. So wouldn't be surprised if I see. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take him off. I'm going to put Tilo Kehrer in. Just because I just think he deserves some game time. Moyes has spoken about rotation. I don't think he's going to rotate as many players as he has done. I think this is going to be a relatively strong side, if not one of our strongest sides. But I think there's certain positions like the goalkeeper and maybe the right back that it can be changed. I don't think he might put Tilo Kehrer. He's done it before, Tilo Kehrer, left back. He might put Aaron Cress with him, but I don't think so. I just don't think so. I think formation wise, he's going to probably go to the. I think the midfield's going to be really interesting. By what we led to believe, Aguer's going to get dropped and Souček's going to get dropped. I think we can see Souček getting dropped. I don't think you can see Aguer getting dropped just yet. I don't think Ogbonna, yes, he was doing the press conference yesterday, but he shouldn't be anywhere near the first team. I think he's come to his end, so to speak. And so I think No, I think I'm not putting a Bonner in. I'm not going to put a Bonner in. I'm going to leave it like that. Anyway, let's go because I just don't think. No, I don't think. So for me, Alvarez, I think he's the biggest loss when he's not playing, without a shadow of a doubt. I think that was a massive issue with the way we were set up for the Brentford game. Is you had a midfield two, but that midfield two didn't include Alvarez, and so Brentford were just bypassing our midfield with passing straight for the middle of the two of them. So. Yes. We'll keep it like that. Then I think. Okay, right, here we go. Let's put in the positions I think are going to happen. I think JWP plays. I think JWP plays. I think he was, Moisey singled him out in the press conference. So that to me usually assumes that. Let's work around it. I think Kudus comes in. We're probably on the right hand side. Yeah, probably on the right hand side. I think Bowen is up top. Again, Moyes has spoken very highly about how he wants to play with Bowen and saying, I think, as I said, we alluded to the fact that maybe Antonio is going to be dropped. Maybe that's it now for him. He said that Bowen, he spoke about the Freiburg game, the Arsenal game, and just the intensity that he brings. And I think it really worked against Arsenal. It really worked. And then maybe Soucek doesn't get dropped. Maybe he doesn't need to get dropped. Maybe, and again, I don't like it, but he puts Paqueta on the left-hand side. Then maybe you've got that sort of security there. You've got a bit of height. That could be it. Or before you start moaning at me in the comments, I prefer to see him there, and then Benny on the left. That's what I would like. Whether that happens is another thing, of course. I think I would like that. I think you've got, the option is, Antonio does come in, but I don't think he will. I don't think he'll be playing tonight. I don't think he'll be playing tonight. And maybe Forrest, obviously, it's against his old club and he might come on for 20 minutes or half an hour. But I think this is going forward the sort of way we need to be looking at the side. It's dynamic. Although we know what's going to happen. As I said, you know what will happen. You know it will be Paqueta right on the left-hand side, where I don't think he's effective. Well, he doesn't really play on the left-hand side. He doesn't really play that position, does he? He sort of drifts in and plays in the midfield, and then sort of these two sort of do like this and sort of like that type thing. It's not really a set formation. It's like these are the sort of main ones. Paqueta sometimes goes up here and Bowen drifts out onto the left hand side and Paqueta plays there. Sometimes Soucek does that, and so it's quite a fluid formation. I think once you've got defense and the goalkeeper, and you've got Alvarez as one of the CDMs, and the rest, the other 5 players, tend to sort of move around a little bit. I love seeing Kudus in the middle. I think Kudus in the middle is fantastic, and then Bowen sometimes drifts out. It was like a ferocious side that were playing against Arsenal, and I would love to see more ferocity. That's a long word. It's a nice word. With our side, Soucek has done that quite a bit as well. You could even play as a 3 in midfield. Oh God, I've just turned Alvarez's head around. It could be like that. I don't know, but that's the 11, and how they play, I think, is up to anyone's guess. I'll be surprised if Antonio plays. I really will be. He had a shocker again against Brentford. And, the words Moyes was saying, we did the Hammers headlines yesterday, and Moyes was talking very, very candidly about Antonio and also about Jarrod Bowen as well. He, I've got the slides here. Asked about Jarrod Bowen. Where is it? Where's the Bowen slides? And we'll go full screen. Sorry, I should have probably done this beforehand. Let's go full screen. Asked about Bowen. He says he's happy to play in any position we put him. We've moved players before, and in his early days, Jarrod had played as a centre forward for Hull. He scored another goal at the weekend, and we needed that. So for him to come out quite candidly and say, "Look, he's played as a centre forward before." There's also been articles that we've mentioned where he's come out and said, this is where I think he's going to be long term. We might need him as a 7 sometimes, and he'll do a job there. But I think for me going forward now, this is, the side is, is Bowen as the spearhead, but it needs that ferocity. The only thing is you don't get that physicality that Antonio has, but I don't think you always have to wait. You need that as such now. because you've got the like. I mean, Paqueta's 6 foot, Thomas Souček's 6 foot. I know he's not everyone's cup of tea, but what we've got at the moment, I think he would be. He can go for the throw-ons up. In terms of the flick-ons and hold the ball up and then obviously then you've got the second sort of the finishers, as they used to call them in rugby. So you could bring on Antonio, you could bring on Ben Rama, you could bring on Devine and Barmer, for example. Bring on Cornet. You've got some guys who could really inject some genuine pace and genuine fear in a defence, which is tiring. And I think, and it was interesting what Dimmy said from Gate 7 International. He goes, to be honest, I think that he reckons the coach, Martinez, is, not putting his hopes on getting a result here today. So, in terms of, the best team in the group away from home, maybe put it down as a loss, and they've got a lot more bigger games coming up maybe, but it's a great opportunity for them if they've got some points to really put themselves in the conversation in terms of qualification from the group, also winning the group. I mean, you look at some of the sides: Newcastle, Man United, Sevilla, and there's still like the likes of Lazio, but there's some big teams who could drop in from the Champions League. So it is really important to win the group. If you're going to qualify, win the group. Either finish third or first. Second, you're going to get probably knocked out because you've been playing a really good Champions League side, or a side that maybe had a couple of bad results and dropped into the third spot. But anyway, that's my opinion. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm sure you will do. I'm sure you disagree with me, as per usual. But that's my opinion. And screw you. No, only joking. Appreciate every one of you, every comment, negative or positive. You're taking the time out to talk to us and leave your thoughts. So we appreciate every single one. Even even voice notes on Facebook. You know who you are. You know who you are. I love it. I love debating with people. Anyway, take care. Stay safe. Stay warm. Stay humble. Enjoy the watch along with Anton later on. And come on, you bloody irons.